Okay, so now it's time for us to go get some lights that we can hang. And as I've said before, there are a huge number of symbols that are over here, and I am positive that we can find some symbols for the lighting fixtures that we're going to use. And what I'm going to start with is going to be some ETC source 4s. We're going to use ERS, or ellipsoidal reflector spotlights, which is what you think of as a standard stage lighting fixture. And we'll probably also use some PARs. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and see if we can find them, right? So if we go over to, and I'll make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. Let's see about that, right? And in the Vectorworks libraries, if we scroll down our objects, it says entertainment lighting instruments. It, at a minimum, is worth a look. So if I click on it, actually if I hit the little caret, it'll open up all of the drawings that exist and all of the symbols that are there. And some of them may need to be downloaded. You may not have them all downloaded. I know that I do not. But what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down this list, alphabetical order, and we're looking for ETC. ETC, A, B, C, D, E, elation. Oh, here's ETC. Oh my gosh, there are so many ETCs. Look at it. There's LED series and LEDs and Celadors and D60s. No. But the one that I'm looking at is this ETC source 4. It's just plain source 4. And let's go ahead and open that drawing. Wow. Look at all of the types of fixtures that are inside of this one folder. And I'll tell you, let's see if we can go down, LED, parts, see if I can find where I want to go. I do think it's just this very first one. Let's click on that. Okay, so now I'll just move over. These are all the different kinds of lighting fixtures, right? So here's a 19 degree, a 14 degree, a 50 degree, and a 36. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. The way to get them into your drawing, there's a couple of ways to do it. But let's start with our 19 degree. That's a great fixture to have. And I'm just going to double click on it. And I'm just going to plunk one anywhere in my drawing. Any old place, doesn't matter. And I'm going to grab another one, and I'm going to plunk it right next to it. And I'll grab a 36 degree, which is right below that. And I think that's going to be a handy fixture to have. And I'll grab a 50 degree. We'll grab a 50 degree, and we'll plunk it down into space. Right? And that's a double click, because when you click on it, the first time it puts its place in. The second click actually determines rotation. And for right now, rotation doesn't matter. All right, that's great. Those are our ellipsoidal reflectors, right? That's our standard ERS fixture. Now, I might go down and look at the source 4 PARs, because they're a wonderful wash light. And what we have is an ETC CE, right? How about we go down and look. This says it's a medium flood if you hover over it. An ETC source 4 PAR medium flood. I'll take a medium flood. And I'll scroll down, and that says a wide flood. I'll take a wide flood too, right? And these different fixtures have different beam spread, right? It's how wide the light is that comes out of the front, right? A very narrow spot, and this is a narrow spot. We'll get a narrow spot, and I'll get a very narrow spot, and I'll put it in. Great. So now I've just kind of plunked those lights down into our drawing. And if I scroll all the way back up, the resource browser, and I can just minimize that so it's not just hanging out there, and I go back up to my drawing, I will now see that if I scroll down, those lighting fixtures have been added to my drawing, right? So now they're here. Now I can, instead of getting them from here, I can get them from here. and it's all the same symbol. They have been imported into my drawing. Now, the last thing we'll do real quick in this lesson is let's go ahead and add a resource to our resource manager. What I'm going to do is right click, and at the bottom it says new resource in small theater instructor file, which is my name. And what I want to do is I want to go up and add a resource folder. Click on the resource folder, not a gradient folder. I want it to be a symbol folder. And if I just scroll down the list there, you'll see where it says symbol folder, and name, we'll call it lighting fixtures. And I'll say OK. So now you'll see that I have a lighting positions folder and a lighting fixtures folder. And if I go down, I can select that fixture, right click on it, and move. I'm going to move it to lighting fixtures, and I'll say OK. I can right click on the next fixture and move, and I want to put it in my fixtures folder and say OK. We're just talking about ways that you can organize your information. I can even do a shift click, a shift click, shift click. I've now selected 4 fixtures. I do a right click, move, and I want to move that to lighting fixtures, and I'll say OK. Again, shift click, and I've selected both of those. Right click, move, lighting fixtures, OK. And all I've done is put my lighting fixtures in a folder where I know where they are. Now, we have all these lights up here. This is kind of cool. Why don't we do a little fly around and let's see what we have, right? Zoom in. Wow, look. So there is already a 3D model for each one of those fixtures that's been drawn. Let's look in OpenGL, right? They're not very, schmancy pants. They're not like our seats, but they do look a little bit like stage lights. We can see that they've got a yoke and a C-clamp and everything like that. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to hang some lights.